Hello, hello, hello. I am the Linux Mitch. Today, I'm going to do something different. I realize that my YouTube channel is about Linux, but today I'm going to build a spreadsheet. So let's get to it. So today, I'm not going to work in a virtual machine and I'm not going to remote into another bare metal computer. I'm going to work in my main production computer. I'm running Arch Linux with the awesome window manager. And on workspace 5, I have Only Office opened up. So let's click it on. So just in case you don't know, Only Office is a free and open source software application. And it's very similar to Microsoft Office, but it's free and open source. Free meaning you don't have to pay for it. And open source meaning that the source code is not locked or encrypted. So anyone who knows how to read source code, they can read the code and see what it's doing to your computer. And Only Office is available for free in Windows, Linux, and Mac OS. And as you can see, it's very similar to Microsoft Excel. Some of the buttons in the menus might be slightly different, but it's pretty much the same. And it saves your files in the Microsoft Excel format. So if you make a spreadsheet and you send it to a coworker or a friend, they will be able to open it up in Microsoft Excel and work on it. So I'm going to build a spreadsheet and I'm going to start on row 7. And I'm going to type in date, invoice number. And you know what? I'm going to make this a little bigger. So I'm just going to move my face so you can see down here, and I don't know if you can see it, it's kind of small. You have a minus, a zoom, and a 100%, and a plus, the same as you do in Excel. So you can click on the plus sign or the negative sign, okay? But you know what? I like to use the control mouse wheel. So if you hold your control button down and use your mouse wheel, you can zoom in this way or zoom out that way. And you can also do that in Microsoft Excel. It works exactly the same way. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to move my face to the top to get it out of the way. There we go. I just want to keep my face out of the way, okay? What I'm going to do is I'm going to make this a bit larger. And beside invoice, I'm going to type in trade. It's going to be trade supplier. And here I'm going to type in code. Here I'm going to type in amount. This is going to be for the full amount of the invoice. And in F, I'm going to type in holdback. This is going to be for a 10% holdback on the whole invoice, including sales tax. And then I'm going to type in discount. And this is going to be for a 2% discount on the subtotal before sales tax is added in. And then on H, I'm going to put total payable. And let's see here. And then I'm going to highlight all this. And I'm going to make this a little wider. And this code one doesn't have to be so wide. Now, let's put a dollar amount in. Let's put $1,000 for the amount of the first invoice, and see it's like that. What I'm going to do is highlight these columns, and I'm going to click on this one here to make my number like that. It has a comma, it has 2 decimal points, and of course these 2 decimal points are cosmetic. But in my formulas, I'm going to make my formulas mathematical, so the 2 decimal points are rounded correctly according to mathematics and not according to cosmetics. So here I'm going to type in legend, and here I'm going to type in holdback, discount, both, and nothing. So of course, like I said, the holdback is going to be for 10% holdback on the whole invoice, including sales tax. The discount is going to be for a 2% discount on the subtotal before sales tax or with the sales tax backed out. Both is going to be both, which means that trade is giving us a 2% discount on the total before sales tax and a 10% holdback on the whole invoice. And nothing means nothing. Okay. And here I'm going to put in H, D, B, and N. Now this whole column, I'm going to center it. These ones, I'm going to do it this way. Let's put them there. Some of this is just beautification or cosmetic, right? And this, I'm going to go here and I'm going to click on this merge and center. And what I'm going to do is highlight this and I'm going to click on fill. Now for the date, a lot of people do their dates like this and it drives me crazy. I mean, obviously we know it's the year 2025, but is it January the 12th, 2025? Or is it December the 1st, 2025? Can't stand it. So I always make my dates like this. I'm going to highlight this, click on this right? Now, some of this works a little bit differently than Microsoft Office, but it's pretty much the same. And I'm going to go here, and I'm going to go to More Formats, and make sure this is on date. And I'm going to change the date format to, let's just scan down this menu. Here, I love this one. This is the one I always use. There. So we know it doesn't just say 25, it's 2025. And there's no confusion between month and day. It's January the 12th, 2025. Now that's not the date today. So I'm going to change the date because today is Saturday, February 15th, 2025. And well, if we move my mug, you can see right up here. Right now it's -1 Celsius. There's some snow. And it's Saturday, February 15th, 2025. So anyways, I'm getting off topic. So here I'm gonna center this one too. And actually I'm just gonna leave that off to the side. I'm gonna put a 1 in there. And actually these ones, I'm gonna center them. But now I'm gonna go back here. I'm gonna put these back to the side like this. Okay. And I'm gonna type in lumber. Well, you know what? Before we do that, okay. And then I'm gonna type in an H for holdback. And it doesn't have to be capitalized. It could be a small h. It's not case sensitive. And now I'm going to put my first formula in. So I'm going to do equal if bracket or D8 equals H, D8 equals B, B, round E8 times minus 0.1, comma 2, bracket. I'm going to put a comma. And I'm going to type in if or, this is an if or statement, by the way, if or D8 equals D, comma, D8 equals N, comma, bracket, bracket, comma, 0, bracket. And if I did it right, there we go. Okay, now I'm going to put a formula in for discount. And my formula is going to be this. It's another if or statement. So if or D8 equals D, comma, D8 equals B, bracket, round. And this time I have to type in the word round twice. Round, bracket, I'm going to do E8 divided by 1.13 because our sales tax is 13%, comma, 2, bracket, times minus 0.02%, bracket, comma, and now I'm going to do if or D8 equals H, D8 equals N, bracket, comma, 0, bracket. And hopefully I did that right. Oh, I made a mistake here. I forgot my equal sign up here. So let's put the equal sign in. And there's a mistake in my formula. Found my mistake. Forgot to put the comma in. Comma 2. Okay, there we go. So what I forgot was the comma 2, and backing out and figuring out the 2% discount, I forgot the comma 2. The comma 2 means that it's going to be mathematically rounded down to 2 decimal points. Mathematically, not cosmetically. And now here, I am going to, let's just do equal. Now you can use this to add it, right? And then what I'm going to do is, I'm going to, well, first of all, I'm going to see if it's working. Okay, so if I delete it, the invoice for $1,000 is going to be $1,000. And these two fields is going to say false. Now, if I put an H in there, and it can be capitalized or a small letter, doesn't matter. Okay, so it's backing out 10% of the invoice on the whole total. Total payable is $900. Now let's put a D in there for discount. So now it's not taking a 10% holdback, but it is taking a 2% discount on the subtotal. So it's backing out the sales tax, which is 13%, and then figuring out a 2% discount on the subtotal before the sales tax, okay? And of course, there's the total. Now let's do B for both. So both is, it's doing both. It's going to take a 10% holdback on the whole invoice and a 2% discount on the subtotal after the sales tax is backed out, or before the sales tax is added in. So my formulas are working. So now what I'm going to do is I am going to, well, you know what, before I even do that, I am going to go to View, and I'm going to put my mouse here like that, and I'm going to freeze panes. So I always freeze my panes, okay? So my titles always stay in there, and actually I want to make my titles bold. Control B makes bold. Of course, you could go to home and you could just hit the bold button right here. But I like to do Control B, takes the bold off, Control B again, puts the bold back on. Now, another thing I like to do is I'm going to highlight this and I'm going to do Control C as copy. I like to use my keyboard more than my mouse. I mean, of course, in this system, just like Microsoft Excel, you can highlight it and do copy, paste, insert, delete, clear, format cells, and so forth. But as much as possible, I like to use my keyboard because I just think it's faster. So what I'm going to do is highlight this, and I'm going to do Control C for copy. And then I'm going to move my cursor down to here, and I'm going to go up to this field. And after the F9, I'm going to put a colon in. I don't know if you can see that. I hope that shows up on the video. It's kind of small. But I'm going to do a colon, a full colon. And I'm going to type in H100. And I'm going to hit enter. Then I'm going to do Control V for paste. Now I could use my mouse to paste it in, but I took that off. So I got to go back, but I like to use Control V, V as in Victor. So I'm going to do a full colon and I'm going to do H100 and I'm going to hit enter and Control V, V for Victor, puts it in. Okay. So now if I want to get to the bottom, I could scroll down like most people do, but I'm just going to do this. Let's escape out of there. Let's do Control down arrow. Takes me to the very last one. And I'm going to scan down a bit. And here I'm going to type in subtotal, holdback, and I should spell that right. Holdback, discount, total, payable. Okay, and then I'm going to, just to make it look a little nicer, I'm going to highlight it and I'm going to bring it here like that. Then for the amount, I'm going to do equals sub total 9 comma E8 to E100 bracket. And I'm going to do the same for the whole back. I'm going to do equal sub total bracket 9 comma. And I'm going to talk about the 9 comma a little later in the video. And hopefully it won't be too long of a video. So I have 9 comma and I'm going to do F8 colon to F100 bracket. And I'm going to do the same for discount. Equal sub total, comma, 9, bracket, 9, comma, and I'm going to do G8, colon, G100, bracket, and hit enter. And then for total payable, I can just use this. Let's use this symbol here and hit enter. Now I'm just going to hold my shift button down and move my side arrow to highlight it, and then hold Control B. And of course, like I said before, you could just use your mouse and do this. Hit the bold button. Okay. Now I'm just going to type in here to verify, and I'm going to put a equals sub total. I'm just putting this in for an extra check, just to make sure my formula is working properly and everything's functioning. So I'm going to do a bracket 9 comma again, and I'm going to do H8 colon H100 bracket. And I'm going to put this here. Let's just justify it to there. And let's bold it this way. To do Control B will bold it. To do that. Okay. And then I'm going to put filters on here. So I'm going to highlight it to here. And I'm going to go to data. I'm going to click on data. See up here. And I'm going to put filters on it. Okay. So now I'm going to hold down the control button and hit my up arrow. And it takes me right up to there. Okay. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to type in, it has autofill, just like Microsoft Excel, put the L and it brings it in. I'm going to type in 3 lumber trades. I'm not going to put the name of actual companies in here. And let's do hardware supply. And you know what? We could make this a little bigger. Let's do 3 of those. What else do I want to do? Brick layer, or it's usually called masonry. But anyways, let's do that. And let's put one more, let's do framer. Okay. So the framer would be the carpenter who frames the house. Okay. Puts the outside of the frame in and the studs in inside. So we have framer. So now what I want to do is I put 4 different types of trades or suppliers in, and I gave them 3 invoices each. I'm not going to bother with the dates and invoice numbers for this spreadsheet. I don't want my video to be too long. So now I'm going to do a lumber would be a D for discount. And let's make it capitals. You don't have to. You can keep it as small letters. It's still going to work. But let's just make it my spreadsheet look nice. D, D, D. The hardware supply is going to be nothing, N for nothing. The bricklayer, let's make it both. He's giving us a discount and a 10%. We're taking a 10% holdback on the total invoice and a 2% discount on the invoice before the sales tax is added in. Okay, so let's do B for both. And the framer, we're doing a 10% holdback on, yes. And we're doing a 10% holdback on the framer. So let's do an H, H, H. Okay, so let's put some money in here. 80,000. Let's just drag it down. Hardware supply, we could keep at 500. Probably be a bit more, but hey. And bricklaying, let's put it at 100,000. And let's go to the framer. And just to kick it up and make it a little differently, let's do 90,000. Okay, these are just numbers I'm picking off the top of my head. This is not totally realistic. Okay, and just remember, when we keep this field blank, you're going to have these two false words there. So you know what? I'm going to change it to, I'm going to put a no in there for the blank fields. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy, Control C is to copy, and I'm going to move it down to the next field. And then I'm going to put a colon in here, colon D100, hit enter, Control V is paste. I'm going to keep everything as no, nothing, nothing to deduct, just to keep those false words out of there, and it looks a little nicer. Doesn't look like there's errors in my spreadsheet. So now I'm going to go to the bottom. So I'm going to just put my mouse here, and I'm going to go Control arrow down, and it brings me to the next field, which is 103. So we can see right now we have $800,000. The holdback is $57,000, and the discount is $9,000. And the total payable is $744,942, and our verification is good. So now what I'm going to do is let's call up the lumber. So we'll call up the lumber, and there it is. So we see that there's no holdback, but there is a discount, and the discount is 2% on the subtotal before the sales tax is added in. And my verification is good. Now let's try, let's go to bricklayer. So you see the bricklayer is taking a 10% holdback on the whole invoice and a 2% discount on the subtotal before the sales tax is added in. And so you can see it's 30,000 holdback, 5,300 discount, and my verification works. And let's go to the next one. I love working with filters, by the way. And hardware. Let's take off bricklayer. Let's go to hardware. In the hardware, we can see there's no holdback and there's no discount, and it's $1,500, and it verifies. Oh, we didn't do framer. So let's go to the framer. The framer is not giving us a discount, but we are taking a 10% holdback on the whole invoice. There it is there, and we can see the verification works. So what I want to do is copy the formulas, and I'm going to go here, and I'm going to copy this holdback formula, and I'm going to go into Word. Well, it's only Office Word, which is very similar to Microsoft Word, and the files are compatible. So if you make a file here in only Office, you'll be able to open it up in Microsoft Word, okay? Saved in the same format. So let's do Control V to paste it in, and let's go down, and let's copy the next formula. I'm going to copy the discount formula. Got to copy it up here. Let's copy it. Let's go to Document. Let's paste this one. Control V is paste. Of course, I could just use my mouse to paste, right? Like that, just like you would in Microsoft Office, Excel, or Microsoft Word. But I like to use my keyboard. Okay, and let's go back and let's copy this formula. And actually, you know what? I'm going to do it here. Let's copy this formula. I want to talk about this one, and let's paste it in there. Okay, and can I make this a little larger? Okay, beautiful. So the first formula is for holdback. So if you put H for holdback or B for both, which means both holdback and discount, it's going to take a 10% holdback, and it's rounding it to 2 decimal points. And if I put a D in that column, D for discount or N for nothing, it's going to put a 0. Now the second field is for my discount column, right? And if I put a D in there for discount or a B for both, it's going to back out the sales tax, which is 13%, comma to 2 decimal places. And then it's going to minus out 2% discount on the subtotal before the sales tax is added in. Again, comma to 2 decimal places. And if I put an H or an N in there, it's going to do nothing. It's going to add a 0 in. So H for holdback or N for nothing, it's going to add a 0 in. Now, interestingly enough, if you look at this one, you see I have the word round in there only once. But in this one, I have the word round in there twice. And the reason why is that on the first line, I'm doing one multiplication, right? So we're rounding it to take off 10% to 2 decimal places. But in this formula, I'm doing two mathematics, right? I'm doing, so I'm rounding it. I'm doing round because I'm doing a division. I'm dividing and I'm multiplying. So I'm dividing out, backing out the 13% sales tax. I'm backing it out and I'm using dividing. I'm dividing to do that. And then I'm multiplying to figure out the 2%. So I'm doing division and multiplication. So that's why I have round. So the round is in there twice, whereas here the round is only in there once. Now, because I'm using filters, this is my formula. So a lot of people, one time somebody at work saw me doing this formula here. He said, "Your formula is wrong." I go, "Why? What's wrong with my formula? That 9 doesn't belong there. Why is that 9 there?" Well, you have to put that 9 there when you're working with filters. So a lot of people would just go equals sum H8 colon H100 bracket. A lot of people will do the formula like that. But if you do the formula like that, even though you filter things out, it's still going to add everything in. And I'm going to show you. Let's go back to my spreadsheet up here. And let's change this one. So let's do equal sum bracket H8 colon H100 bracket. Okay, so there's the formula. So look at so this formula that has equals subtotal bracket 9 comma and then the fields is only adding up what is filtered. Okay, these three items. But this one, because I did sum equals, it's adding up the whole H column. Well, it's adding up H8 to 100, even though it's filtered out. So it's even adding up to things that are hidden behind the scenes that you can't see. So you see we have 700,000 here, but 200,000 there. So right now, this formula is this one here. And that's the formula people use a lot. But when you're using filters, you have to use this formula. And you have to have that 9 in there with the comma. Now, why is it a 9 comma? I have no idea. I really don't know, but that's the formula and it works. So when you do the formula like that, equal subtotal, 9 comma, and then the fields or the cells, then it's only going to add up what's filtered. So let's go back to the worksheet and let's change the formula again. So we're going to do equal sub. Let's take my caps off. Doesn't really matter. Equal sub total bracket 9 comma H8 colon H100 bracket. There we go. Now it's working. It's only showing what's filtered or adding up what's filtered. Like I said, if we put an N in there, it's not doing any holdback or discount. D, it's doing a discount only, and it's doing a discount on the subtotal before the sales tax is added in. If I put a B in there for both, it's doing a holdback and a discount. And if I delete it, you get these false things there. Okay, so that's how that works. So this is a spreadsheet that I like to use. I love using it. It's fantastic. And that's it. In this video, I showed how to make, well, I think a relatively basic spreadsheet. And I know that this is off the beaten path because I normally make videos about Linux, but I'm in a Linux computer and I used a software, an Office software that's available on Linux, Windows, and Mac OS, and it's called Only Office. It's a free and open source application. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please like it and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Thank you for watching. Until next time, I am the Linux Mensch.